Okay, we are now recording. Let me review. This is number 17, page 17, number 29. We are finding coordinate B. A is given as negative 8, 3. M is negative 2, 1. We know that it's 6 units from negative 8 to negative 2. So we take 6 more units and go to 4. We're doing the same thing now with Y, and you're caught up. Troxel was correct. It's negative 2 from 3 to 1. So then to go from 1 to our unknown, it's going to also be negative 2. Where do we end up? Negative 1. Very good. That is the correct answer. That's kind of like a problem-solving way to approach it. You know, like we didn't do any equations necessarily. All right, but let's take a look at what if we did do equations. Well, we have to use the midpoint formula. So let's review. Here's the midpoint formula. We add the x's, divide by 2, add the y's, divide by 2. That's the midpoint. Do we know what the value of the midpoint is? Yeah. So we're going to use that and set up an equation. Watch this. Negative 2, the midpoint value, is equal to negative 8 plus x over 2. All right, let me explain. That's the midpoint value for x. That's negative 8 is x of a. What we don't know, now we know the answer is 4, but I'm doing it another way. So this is our unknown. So that x goes there, and we divide it by 2 because it's the midpoint. Does everyone see how I set that equation up? And now, here's the challenge. Let's solve that equation. I have negative 8 plus x over 2 equals negative 2. How do I solve for x? What do I do first? Anybody? Farmer. Outstanding. Farmer, how'd you know that? That's really good. We have to undo. That's my algebra terminology. We have to undo whatever they're doing to my variable. To undo a division of 2, I multiply by 2, which is what Farmer said. So when I multiply by 2, the 2's cancel over here. What's remaining? Negative 8 plus x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side. Now what do I got to do, Ashton? Add 8 to both sides. Very good. Negative 4 plus 8 is positive 4. And guess what? I get to make a long arrow. Yes. There it is. I know it's the small things, Tehran. I like arrows. Okay, let's do the same thing with y. Somebody want to set up the equation? Want to give it a shot at setting up the equation? Like I did here? Somebody want to try? Anybody? Farmer, you want to try it? Okay.
1 is equal to 3 plus y over 2.
Outstanding. 1 is equal to 3 plus y over 2. That's just a midpoint formula for the y value. Loy, what do we do first? It's a great question, isn't it? You know what, Loy? I'm good at asking good questions. That's right. Good. Well done. Okay, if I multiply by 2 on this side, what do I got to do to this side? Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side. That's correct. So then 2 is equal to 3 plus y. What do we do next? Loy, you're on a roll. Keep it up. Yes, I would. Subtract 3. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side. So if I subtract 3 from here, I'm left with y. 2 minus 3. I get to make another arrow. Yes. Everyone see how to do that? It's 2 different ways. Problem-solving way, algebraically. You good? Fun times. Okay. That's it for the homework. Are there any other questions on the homework? Aiden? No? Okay, turn to page 14 of your homework. Page 14. At the top of page 14, I want you to write page 14. And then I want you to write this. 9 through 15. 17 through 20. 23 through 25. Does that look familiar?
Yeah.
That was the assignment, right?
Yeah.
I want you to write that at the top of the page. Top of page 14. Above that, I want you to put your name. First and last name. I don't want any nicknames.
I think it was 9 through 14.
Was it 14? Oh, there we go. Whatever the assignment was. Sorry. I didn't mean to confuse you. I was just going off the top of my head. 9 through 14, 16 through 20, 23 through 25. And then what do we do? 5 and 6, 27, 28. So write those at the bottom. And then this is period 6. I know if you don't have a lot of room, you might have to wrap it around. That's right. It's okay. Now, you don't have to put it in a square. I'm just letting you know that that information is called a label. Every assignment that you submit needs to have a label. Got it? Means it's got your name on it, it's got the problems that we're doing, and it's got the class period. Okay? I used to make people put the date on it, but I'm not doing that anymore. So that's all you need. But every assignment has to have a label. If you submit an assignment without a label, that's okay. I'm not going to grade it until you put a label on it. And I'll tell you, like in the text entry box, hey, you need a label. And then if you go back and put the label on it and then resubmit it, you get full credit. Okay? I want to get you in the good habit right now at the beginning of school that we're putting a label on the assignment. All right, so now this assignment, I want you to submit on Canvas. It's due by midnight tonight. Midnight tonight. Okay? If you've already submitted, you're good to go. Unless you have like, you didn't do 27. Okay? And then you go back and you finish number 27, you can resubmit it. It's no big deal on the same assignment. I see how many submissions you have, and I'll just grade the last one. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions on how to submit? Okay, I want to show you a function. Did I show you the scan function? Okay, I want to show you a function. If on your phone, if you're using your phone to take the pictures, I want to show you something. Just look at the screen. Okay, so if you go to your notes, if you don't have an iPhone, you still probably have something similar. If you go to your notes like that, and I want to create a note, I want to get a new note. I go down there, and now see how the camera thing pulls up? You guys are better at this than I am, I bet. But I hit that camera thing like I'm going to take a photo, but instead of taking a photo, because it's not as detailed, I want to hit Scan Documents. And it says position the document in view. And so I'm going to, let's say it's just that square. I want to take a scan document of it. Now watch this. See how it highlights? Ooh, isn't that cool? It was. Come on. There we go. All right, so now look at this. See that? I can go done, save, and it's ready to submit. And it's a lot clearer than taking a normal picture. Does that make sense? So that's one thing I would recommend for you to do when you go to, yes?
Okay, so when we submit, you want us to take like a picture of our assignment and everything and the label?
Okay, so wait. If it's more than one page,
Yeah.
you've got to do each page.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, let's say the label's up here.
So take a picture of the whole page. That includes a label.
Okay.
Yes.
I submitted Monday's homework yesterday.
That's fine.
Do you want me to resubmit?
Nope, you don't need to. What he's saying was since it was split over days, you can do them individually. That's fine. Here's the problem, though. Yesterday doesn't have a way to submit it because it was just a page. It wasn't an assignment. So you got to go back to when the original assignment was given. Okay?
I did mine on like separate sheet of paper.
That's fine for that first assignment.
Okay, and then what about my work? Does that matter?
I do. That's why I want all your work and everything to be done in the book.
Alright.
But on the first assignment, Landon, that's okay. Yeah.
So I just submitted like, because I got 2 pages,
Uh-huh.
and so this is Mondays and this is
Uh-huh.
yesterday's.
You can submit them separate.
Okay.
Yep. Now, some people like to, you can do it, if you use that scan document, you can do it in one document. It says next scan, and you can do it, and then it submits all as one document. And that's fine too. And there's another app, I think it's called Genius or Scan or something like that. There's an app too that works. Genius Scan, thank you. Genius Scan is an app that you can use to submit. Okay? Questions? Are we all set? Okay. Can you use your computer to take a photo? Yes, you can. It's not quite as clear, and it's a little harder to position it, but you can do that. Okay. For instance, if you're having trouble getting connection at home, internet, or you're going to be busy, you can do that during homeroom and submit it. Okay. Does everybody in here have Canvas on their phone? Not everybody does, but if you do, that I found to be the best way to do it. Okay? Okay, let's move on. We got a lot to cover. All right, so we need the compass. We're going to do 2 constructions. Here we go. Construction. This is actually our second construction, so I'm going to label it number 2. It's our first one today, but it's our second construction. This is section 1, 2. We are talking about angle measures and angle bisectors. Good stuff. Construction number 2 is we're going to copy an angle. All right, so let's get this set up. I'm going quickly, but you can catch up. Let's get this set up. I don't care if it's an obtuse or an acute angle. Does not matter. But start with an angle. There's an angle that I'm starting with. And then the setup, I need a line with a point or maybe a ray. Doesn't matter. Line with a point or maybe a ray. There we go. There's a setup. Get there. It's the first one for today, but it's like number 2 overall. You know what I mean?
What's the angle?
Doesn't matter. It can be any angle. It could be that's an obtuse angle. It could be an acute angle. Could be a right angle. You can even do a straight angle. Don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't. Everyone got set up? All right, let's get the compass out. Did I put it away? Where did I put my compass? No? Huh. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I'll try and keep my hands out of the way so you guys can see it. But the idea here is I'm going to make an arc that's going to connect this ray to that ray, and it does not matter what the width of my compass is. Does not matter. Just pick any width. Put the point at the vertex. I'm going to label that so you guys know. This is the vertex. Okay, so we're going to put the point at the vertex. I think the best way to use a compass is like this, where I put my fingers at the top and I twist it. Don't move. I've seen people move the paper, yeah. And I want a big arc that connects the rays. Can you guys see that okay? Now, I'm going to use a different color so you guys can see it, but I want to give a point at the point of intersection of the arc and the ray. And a point at the point of the intersection of the arc and ray, right there. Okay, now my compass, I hope it didn't move. I'm going to make sure that it didn't. My compass didn't move. Okay, so I'm good. Same width. You can see it. now I'm going to go over to here and do the exact same arc. Everyone see that? I did the exact same arc that I did there. I do it over here. I use that point. That's going to be my new vertex eventually. I'm going to highlight that point of intersection. See, I put a red dot there. Okay, so now I'm going to use my compass, and I'm literally going, you know what, let me stand up and explain it. I hope I talk loud enough that the recording gets it, but you guys need to see this. I'm going to talk a little louder. I want to find the distance between those 2 points, but I'm going to use my compass to do it. I'm not going to measure it. That makes sense? And then I'm going to use my compass and just come over here and make an arc to copy. Go ahead. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to use the compass here. I got the point on that red dot at that point of intersection right there. Now I'm going to widen the compass out. Let me turn it this way so you can see a little better. Now, if I left it like that, that's too wide. I got to get it right to the point. Ah, look at that. See that arc, how it crosses that point? That's the distance between the 2 points. See that? Cassidy, see that? See where the compass is from point to point?
Yeah.
All I do is, don't look down. Watch. Go over there and do the exact same thing. Put the point on the red dot. And then I make an arc. So it should look exactly like that. Did you catch it? Okay. Now there's a point of intersection there. Everyone see this point of intersection? Between 2 arcs. I use a straight edge. And I connect the vertex to that point, and I've copied the angle. Yes?
What if they don't intersect?
What if what?
They don't intersect.
You have to widen out a little bit,
Yeah.
but they should.
They should.
Yep. All right, we're going to do another one if those of you that didn't get it that first time. Okay? We'll do it again. This is an obtuse angle, so if you did an obtuse angle, I want you to do an acute angle this time. If you did an acute angle, I want you to do an obtuse. All right, so I'm going to set it up. Here we go. Acute angle. All right, there's my setup. I got an acute angle with a ray. Go ahead and do an acute angle. If you had an obtuse before, whatever, I want you to do the opposite. Angle, ray, angle, ray. Everyone good? Nod your head if you're good. Sitting behind you guys is harder. Because I used to be able to look at you and see your eyes and tell that you guys are ready. You know what I mean? When I'm sitting behind you, I can't tell. Is everyone good?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now what we want to do, step by step, is I'm going to draw an arc on the first given angle that connects the rays. I'm going to draw an arc that connects the rays. Does it matter what the size of the arc is? It does not matter. It can be really small, it can be really big, don't care. Okay? Now sometimes the frustration of a using the compass, because it can be tricky, keeps you from understanding. I want you to understand. All right, so I'm going to go to my original and get my hands out of the way in just a second. And I'm going to draw an arc from ray to ray. There it is. I drew an arc from ray to ray. I'm going to use a black pen, so I'm going to use a highlighter so you guys can see it even better. So I have a point of intersection here and a point of intersection here. Does everyone see those points of intersection? Okay, now my compass better not have moved. I'm going to make sure. Yeah, not. Okay, so now I go to my ray and I make the exact same arc. Everyone see that? Exact same arc. It's not very dark on mine up there. I can see it really good on my paper. Questions so far? I'm not done, but I'm getting closer. Okay, so now, I want to highlight that point of intersection. Okay, now I'm going to use my compass and I'm going to find the distance between the rays. So I'm going to go from here to here. Oh, that's too long. That's too short. I like to give it a little arc so I can see it. That's perfect. Look at that. Everyone see that arc that shows the distance between the rays? Okay, and then I do the exact same arc over here. Aiden, does that make sense? Tyler?
No.
What part?
That part that you just did.
Okay, so do you see this point of intersection that I highlighted? Okay, here's what I like to explain it like this sometimes, Tyler, and I'm sure you're not the only one. We could try and just measure. See how that's like 3/4 of an inch between those two? And then go over here, but the problem is it's just not as accurate. You know what I mean? And so what we're going to do is we're going to use the compass to find the exact distance. So I put my sharp point on that point, right there where my finger is. And then I try and widen or narrow the compass so it hits that point of intersection perfectly.
Okay.
There it is. So now if I just look at the compass, the distance between that point and the pencil, that's the distance between the rays. Does that make sense? So then I'm just going to take that distance of that compass to my other, where I'm copying it, and make an arc. There it is. Okay, now what does that give me? That gives me another point of intersection. I like to highlight it. I don't have to. I just like to. Now I'm going to connect the new vertex. And I finished the angle. Now those angles are copied. They're the same measure. Same. Same. Questions? We did it twice. Are we good? That's not us.
Honestly, I'm a little confused though.
Do we need to do another one?
Yes.
Do you mind if I do it? Yeah, okay, let's do another one. Third time's a charm. Okay, so I'm going to start with an angle. And I'm going to start with a ray. A toy for everybody. Here we go. First time through, I'm going to create an arc that connects the rays. It does not matter how wide my compass is. Doesn't matter. I'm going to connect it. I like to use the compass by holding it at the top, like that, and twist it. That's just a preference of mine. I'm going to go down here where I'm going to copy the angle and do the exact same thing. Sometimes your compass will move. So some people like to do it like this. Now my hands look like they're in the way, but they put one hand down here to hold it down and the other hand here, and they kind of push it. So some people like that. Okay, so there we are. Everyone okay? We haven't really copied the angle yet. All we've done is put an arc.
Yeah.
We're like halfway. Now, this is a preference of mine. Again, if you're reading the directions of how to copy an angle, what I'm getting ready to do isn't there. You just give yourself a point. It just makes it a little clearer. Like where those intersections are, give yourself a point there. Okay, so now I'm going to measure with the compass the distance. What if I left my compass at this distance? Does that work? Does that give me the distance between the points? No. So I got to go wider with my compass. If I go wider, does that work? No, that's too wide. Do you see that, Coy? So I got to move my compass just precisely so it goes to that point, like right there. There we go. Now, I have to put the tip on the point that I've already been given down here. And I make an arc up there. All right, come on. Make an arc. There it is. Does that give me a point of intersection above? Should. Now I connect that point of intersection to my new vertex. And we're done. All right, Coy, you get it? All right. Yes?
Is your pencil supposed to be longer or shorter?
It should be about the same. That's the best way to use it, when it's about the same. All right, we got another construction. This one's a lot easier. Construction number 3, bisecting an angle.
What was that one before?
Copying an angle. So construction 2 is copying an angle. This is bisecting an angle. I'm pretty sure you're going to find this one to be much easier. Okay? Give it either, I don't care. It could be an obtuse or an acute, but just draw an angle. I like to use a straight edge. So, did I make an acute or an obtuse? Look at my angle. Acute. What's the definition of an acute angle?
Less than 90.
Less than 90. How about obtuse? Greater than 90. How about a right? 90. How about a straight? 180. Okay, so we have an acute angle here. And my task for construction is to bisect it, which means I'm going to cut it in half. Okay? That means if I were just guessing, it's going to come out here somewhere. Watch where my pen's going. It's going to come out here somewhere, right? Okay, here's how we do it. It's pretty simple. Start with any width of your compass. Does not matter the width. Put it on the vertex. And make an arc, just like before, that connects the rays. Make an arc that connects the rays. Now again, I like to highlight the points of intersection. I just think it helps. I'm going to put a point there and a point there. Everyone good? That should be really easy, right? Okay, so now this is the actual bisecting. I don't want you to do anything with your compass. I want you to watch the screen. Because once you watch it, I think you'll get it. Here we go. We're going to put the point on the point of intersection. And it does not matter the width of my compass. I'm going to make an arc out here in the middle somewhere. Don't do it, just watch. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm going to do it twice. My goal is that those arcs give me an intersection. All right, go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter how wide your compass is. It could be really wide. Your point of intersection could be way down here. Your point of intersection could be up there. Doesn't matter. You want two arcs, one from each side to get a point of intersection. Now, one thing you got to be careful of, you got to make sure your compass is wide enough that it gives you a point of intersection. Okay, that point of intersection, put a point. Anybody, what do you think we're going to do next?
Put a line down the middle.
That's right. Connect that point to the vertex. Oh, I missed my dot.
Hey, you missed your dot line.
I missed it. That's a bisection. Questions? All right, let's do it again. This time with an obtuse angle. If you use an obtuse angle the first time, that's okay. Then use an acute angle this time. Okay, obtuse angle. I'm going to go a little quicker. I'm going to do an arc. It hits both. I'm going to highlight those points of intersection. Now I'm going to widen my compass just a little bit because I got to get a point of intersection out here in the middle. Interestingly, when you do like an SAT or some kind of standardized test, they don't give you a compass, but they do ask you, are the arcs appropriate to bisect an angle? So what you have to look at are the arcs to determine if it's done correctly. And we're done. Yes?
Do we have homeless tonight? Like besides the other
That was one.
Ashton, I answered without answering. Not sure if you got that. Are we all good without on construction 3? Okay, let's move on. Now we got some notes. Turn to page 21 in your book. Page 21. This is still 1-2, section 1-2. We're on page 21. At the top of the page, you can see a little chart that classifies angles. This is really review. Let's go through it real quick. Here are the 4 types of angles. Acute, right, obtuse, straight. An acute angle looks like this. Something less than 90 degrees. Degrees is the form of measurement of an angle. Degrees is the form of measurement for angles. We know that in a circle, well, if you don't know, you should know. A circle is 360 degrees, all the way around. Okay, so acute's 90 degrees. A right acute is less than 90 degrees. A right angle is 90 degrees. Look at this little symbol. Many, many times. Not every time, but many, many times. You're going to have a little square in the angle that indicates it is a right angle. So put that in there. An obtuse angle just means that it's something greater than 90, but less than 180. Greater than 90, less than 180. That's an obtuse angle. And then a straight angle is one a lot of people forget about. It's just a straight line. 180 degrees. Those are the 4 angles that we will deal with all year. Okay? All right. So, how do we name an angle? There's a process to it. I want to teach you. Name an angle. All right. Let's start with just with a acute angle. And I'm going to say that this is angle name an angle, and I'm going to say this is angle ABC. The proper way to name an angle is you have to know where the vertex is. The vertex is B, and so when I name the angle, I use a little angle symbol. It looks like a tilted over L. An angle symbol, and then I use the 3 letters, and the middle letter is the vertex. Always, forever, and ever, and ever, always, the vertex is the middle letter. I could go this way. Is that for us?
Yeah.
Hang on, before you get going. Hang on. Here's what I want you to write down. Now, if you've got time, I want you to start working on this. It's not due tomorrow. I want you to start working on it if you got time, in homeroom or something like that. We're going to add to it tomorrow. Thank you, Mrs. Killian.
Thank you.
Put your compass and stuff away. You're good to go. Thank you. Great job today. Good job, good job. You're good to go. You're free to go. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Have a great day. Have a wonderful evening. Be kind.
Oh my gosh.
Be nice. Yeah. See you, Lennon.